Hello and welcome to another episode of our PAC Politics Podcast. Our podcast is brought to you by our organization, our United Resource PAC. If you don't know, we are a tax-exempt political organization. Hi guys, my name is Brittany McDowell, and thank you for joining me this Friday. Look, this is not going to be a long episode. I just want to know, do you really believe that more talks are going to eventually lead to the passage of a stimulus package? If you're like me, probably not. Because at this point, what we're seeing around is just like a lot of hopium, right? People are high on this hopium stuff, and quite frankly, is not good. It's not good. So again, this is not going to be a long episode today because while a lot of people might be inspired by the hope of hearing that Steve Mnuchin had something to say about more talks, I'm not going to lean too far into that because we've been on this merry-go-round several times. So we're going to get on and then quickly get off. So sit back and listen, and we won't be long. All right, let's go. Hey, this is Brittany. Just wanted to shoot you a quick reminder. Look in the description box of this episode and you can find a link to our website. On our website, you can find our latest blog posts. You can find our contact information. You even want to make a contribution, you can go over there and do that as well. You can find out the policies we are looking at and targeting as an organization. You know, I say all the time that we are a tax-exempt political organization. If you want to know more about that, again, go on over to our website, our-pac.com, where you can find out everything you want to know. You can do everything you want to do. We will gladly welcome you on our website with open arms. Again, check out our website in the description box below. I want to talk about something that Steve Mnuchin said. We've heard him say this before, and if you don't know who Steve Mnuchin is, he is the Treasury Secretary. He said that he and senior GOP, senior Republican lawmakers are going to attempt to draft a targeted, here's that keyword again, targeted, and we know what targeted means, right? It means small, it means insufficient, it means that it's only going to help just a small group of people. It is not going to help everybody who needs help at this point. But they want to draft a small stimulus package, and they want to meet with Democrats in coming weeks. Okay, I just want to point something out here in case you have not heard. Now, mind you, before I even get there, let me tell you that when he talks about the senior lawmakers, the senior GOP lawmakers that he's going to attempt to draft this small legislation with, this small stimulus package with, they are Senate Republicans, okay? And do you know where the Senate Republicans are right now? Kind of like, let's play a game of Where's Waldo? Where's the Waldos? Where are the Senate Republicans? If you don't know, Senate Republicans, guys, they've gone home. They have checked out. What? Yes, they are. They're home, relaxing, not giving a damn, not having a care in the world about the suffering of their fellow Americans, not caring about those who are going to fall off the unemployment rolls, not caring about those who are about to be evicted, not caring about, I don't even think that they saw, what was it, in Dallas a few days ago? We saw, well, at least I know I saw a video of a food bank that had thousands of people in line. Look, I have volunteered at food banks several times on a pretty regular basis. And quite frankly, I don't know how they're able to pull that off, because I know that what we got from, from there was no way that we could have literally assisted thousands of people. I don't even know if the Senate Republicans even know that that's a thing, that like thousands of people are having to go and seek assistance from a food bank, right? But look, they've checked out, they've gone home. And I want to be very honest with you, because a lot of people, because mind you, this is just, it's breaking, in this moment, this news that Steve Mnuchin wants to sit with the Senate Republicans and wants to figure out, okay, what are we going to do to help a very specific and small group of people, and let's plan in the next few weeks to talk to Democrats. This is new. This just came out today. No one really knew about this yesterday, right? But I want to be honest with you guys. This is not, well, you're going to have people out there who hear about this and they're super excited and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is taking us closer to stimulus. This is see they're taking action. Look, this is just another dose of hopium, okay? First, Nancy Pelosi was giving us that hopium. She gave us hopium for a while, right? She had some of y'all so high on the hopium, you really believed every time you saw Nancy Pelosi that this was the time that we were going to, oh, here comes Nancy. She's coming to announce the fact. But it was, oh, I have hope. I have, girl, hope and change does not work anymore, right? But look, this is hopium now from Steve, right? And quite frankly, it's sad. It's sad, and it's pathetic, and it's disingenuous, because if people are being honest, if Steve Mnuchin is being honest, if Nancy Pelosi is being honest, if the GOP, quite frankly and surprisingly, I think the most honest people at this point probably are your Senate Republicans. What? Yes. The reason is because, like I said, they've checked out and they've gone home. So I say all the time that you look at actions and you don't listen to words. Their actions show they don't care. Their actions show that they're not doing anything about it. And I mean, they're honest. It's like, look, just look at me. Like, I'm not going to do anything for you. I've gone home. I'm going to my mansion. I'm kicking my feet up, and I'm eating some bonbons. They're honest, right? So at the very least, they're not trying to get you high on the hopium. But look, so now Steve, he's jumped on the hopium bandwagon, but again, the reality is that nothing is coming, right? And even if let's just even remotely, just for this one moment, let me sniff a little bit of that hopium. Let's kind of play into this idea that, oh my gosh, they're going to sit down, and after all these times of sitting down, I'm really supposed to believe that, like, you're really going to figure it out now. But look, let me just again breathe in some of that hopium, and let me just assume that, okay, Steve is genuinely going to sit down with these Republicans who've gone home. He's going to have to get them, from their golf courses, so on and so forth. And he's really going to attempt to do something. Even then, let me point out something to you. Again, I mentioned earlier that what they're still looking for is something targeted. And targeted is a code word, right? We always hear about code words related to like race and all this other sort of stuff, socioeconomic status, yada, yada, yada. But there are code words when we look at stimulus, right? And I've talked about the linguistics, the words that politicians decide to use and pundits decide to use, and how you need to be aware so that you can really decipher what they are saying when their words aren't really saying what they are really saying. And by saying that, he's looking for something targeted. He is telling you that he is looking to help a small group of people. He is looking to help a small group of people in a very specific way. Don't believe me? Consider what the Senate Republicans came out with their last proposal that they created. Not that they potentially could have agreed to, but that they created. The last the last proposal that they came out with in regards to stimulus that they created, Senate Republicans, did not include $1,200 checks. Why? Because they'd been telling you that it was targeted. Targeted means I'm not helping you. I'm going to help my buddies. I'm going to help those who donate to my campaigns. And this is why I don't try to do a lot of promotion of our organization on this podcast, because I really want this podcast to be just simply about getting information out to people. But this is why, as I say, don't hate the player, hate the game. Now a lot of people are starting to understand. Well, people have been understanding for a while, money in politics, right? And a lot of people are starting to actually openly talk about it and point out examples of how politicians really commit. They go hard in the paint for their donors, but they neglect their actual constituents. And they do it because their donors obviously help them keep their job, right? And everybody needs a job, especially right now. You really don't want to be unemployed, right? But here's the deal. This is exactly why, again, you can't hate the player, hate the game. I myself absolutely believe that money needs to be taken out of politics. It creates, it really has a tendency to bring out the worst in people, not the best, the worst in people. But then again, I mean, you could say that it does expose people for who they are, because we wouldn't otherwise see it if they didn't have opportunities to kind of put themselves in bed with the devil, right? But when I say don't hate the player, hate the game, this is why the people going around telling you, see, the money is the problem is money in politics. They're only telling you half the story, right? What they need to be telling you is that while you might not be able to cut $1 million check or a $500,000 check to a politician, what you can do is you can literally forego your coffee for the day, or when you plan your grocery shopping, say, you know what, I'm not going to get this one item that I typically get, because that $10 item, I'm going to take $10 and I'm going to either donate it directly to a politician or organizations like ours that actually are not affiliated with a specific politician or a specific piece of legislation, and can support literally in mass, either support or seek to oppose in mass, whether Democrats or Republicans. Give your money to organizations like ours or directly to politicians. Period. And again, I know that the average American does not have, they literally by themselves can't compete with these organizations or with these billionaires. That's okay. But if enough Americans say, you know what, I am not going to, I'm going to just say, give up, this $10 item when I go grocery shopping next week, because I seriously believe that what we're seeing from politicians is not okay. And I'm going to take this $10 and I'm going to donate it either directly to a politician or directly to an organization, a super PAC, which is what we are. Then, hey, I have done in some way, I have demonstrated a form of political power that, quite frankly, these politicians aren't expecting me to demonstrate, right? What politicians, I've talked several times about how politicians expect you to have amnesia. This is why, and literally, I talked about this like a month or two ago. This is why politicians, they are their craziest immediately after an election. This is why we're seeing what we're seeing now, because what they're banking on is they are banking on the fact that you will not remember when it comes close to their next election several years from now, that you either won't remember or you won't care about what they did before. Between now and then, we're going to see all the crazy stuff now, and then we're going to see crazy stuff for a few more months, maybe even a year. And then as you get close to their time for re-election again, then that's when you're going to see them break out with especially if COVID is gone, the kissing babies and, reading books at school crap, right? Like, if you really want to help the kids, you don't read to them at the schools. Let them read the damn books themselves, right? But anywho, this is why you have to say to yourself, or you have to ask yourself, what forms of political power can I demonstrate outside of voting? Voting is crucial. Everyone proved that back on November 3rd, right? And hopefully they will prove it once again in Georgia coming up, right? But the deal is that your only form of political power is not just with voting. And I really want you to understand that is the difference. When we talk about how rich people, the wealthy, the elite are very powerful. This is why they can have those politicians on speed dial. Did you know that if enough Americans really put their money, even though no, it's not much, but in numbers, you know, uh, average Americans um, actually, you know what? Let me. I wanted to keep this short. Let me stop because I could be mad. I really could be mad because I hear people all the time. They demonize the wealthy, and they blame the wealthy for being able to have more political power than them. Now, let's be honest. Will a politician, even if you do give to a candidate's campaign or give money to a super PAC, will a politician put you on speed dial? No, they won't. But what you can have as a result of you acquiring more political power is you can have, especially if the collective decides to do it, we can have a situation where we at least chip away at the power that those who we perceive to have more political power, we can chip away at that power. But anyways, let me get back to Steve Mnuchin here, because this is Hopeium. Like I said, I know today I am going to hear person after person, source after source, talk about, oh, see, they're going to sit and they're going to talk, and we're not going to have diddly squat, because the Republicans, they still want something targeted, aka small, or I should say small, aka targeted. And then the Democrats still want something comprehensive. Here's the deal. and I literally just made myself laugh when I thought about this. Again, let's kind of go back to the linguistics of stuff. Do you notice that when it comes to the Republicans and their small package, people always want to use the word targeted? They want to give the Republicans the benefit of the doubt, or they want to aid in their efforts to use language to control the perception of people, right? You've always heard from the Republicans, or when people talk about the Republicans, you've always heard targeted. Question: when is the last time you have ever heard anybody call what the Democrats want comprehensive? Literally think about that, because we always hear words like, oh, the Democrats want a big package, they want an expensive package, typically they talk about the size of being massive. And those words tend to not play so favorably with people. But you know what word does? Comprehensive. That word, I didn't just create that word. That word has been around this whole time. Why have we not heard anybody, or at least a sizable majority of people that are at least on par with the number of people that have decided to use targeted for Republicans? Why don't they do the same for Democrats? This should show you where the motives lie with people. So Republicans still want a small package. Democrats still want a comprehensive package. No one is willing to budge. And last thing that I want to point out here, because like I said, there's not much to say. Again, if you believe that now all of a sudden one more talk with people who, with some people who are gonna either not be, in a job within the next few weeks, or people who, again, are doing what I told you exactly they do. They're able to kind of do the devil's work right now because they're counting on you having amnesia when they're up for re-election in a few years. Do you really believe that now they're going to budge? Heck no. But look, Steve Mnuchin, if you remember what I said in the very beginning, right now, what he plans to do is talk to Republicans. And then what does he plan to do? In a few weeks, he's going to meet with Democrats. dude, you're going to be out of a job in a few weeks. Some of these people you're going to talk with are going to be out of a job in a few weeks. Your president is going to be out of a job in a few weeks. Do not sniff the hopium. They don't plan to meet with Democrats for a few weeks. What we're seeing is just how, and Nancy did the same thing. Nancy Pelosi did the same thing a few weeks ago. Nancy Pelosi, actually, and she had been doing it for a long time. She's been having people high on hopium for months. And so this is not something Steve just, has done, all of a sudden, and we've never seen this before. Again, Nancy was getting y'all high for months. Republicans, they want to keep themselves essentially looking good. What did I tell you? Politics is about perception. Nancy Pelosi for months needed the perception that, look, I need you to really believe that something is going to happen, because if you don't believe, then voters who don't believe are voters who could vote against me in my caucus. That's not exactly the same thing that we're seeing with Steve Mnuchin, because, again, for some, the vote has already occurred. And then for others, the vote is so far out. Again, they're counting on what historically happens, which is voter amnesia. With Steve, what we're seeing is people now, and I don't understand how they're just now starting to talk. People are now starting to talk about how, you know what? Republicans at this point, with especially how bad this virus is getting, with all this stuff that's about to end, with the fact that people are just like falling into the abyss of suffering and despair, like literally, you guys are looking like heartless monsters. And what Steve doesn't want to happen is he doesn't want him and his people to look like heartless monsters. But you know what? It's too late. You know why? Because fact of the matter is they already look like heartless monsters. It's fall, and you know what that means, right? You can find us on Facebook. No, I know that fall and Facebook have nothing to do with each other, but they both start with the letter F, so, according to my logic, perfect time to tell you about finding us on Facebook since it is fall. Isn't that exceptional logic? By my point of view, it is. Anywho, in the description box below, you'll find a link to our Facebook page. Check us out. If you like us, like our page, we'll be more than glad to have you. Again, find us on Facebook. Look in the description box below for the link. Okay, guys, so that is our podcast episode for this Friday. Please, please, please remember, especially today, because I can promise you at some point you are going to hear somebody somewhere, if you pay attention to somebody talking about some sort of news, you are going to hear them talk about how Steve Mnuchin wants to talk and how he's hoping that his talks can lead to hopefully the passage of some sort of small stimulus package within the next few weeks, because he plans to meet with Democrats in the next few weeks. But please, whatever you do, do not sniff the hopium. Don't do it, because we talk a lot, especially when we talk about COVID-19, we talk about the adverse and emotional effects that it is having on people, right? We hear about people and depression, and just even you hear about suicides and stuff. Do they not realize that the same thing is happening with them telling people every other week, oh, this is going to be the week. Oh, stimulus is coming. Hope, 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 hope. Change is like, stop. At a certain point, even when people continue to tell you things, you have to make up in your mind that, look, I'm not listening to it at this point. You have to show me something. Right? So if you want to go from a place of feeling unsure about if something is going to happen, or if you want to come from a place where you currently feel essentially like what's the word I'm looking for? You feel like, look, just it's not going to happen, and you want to get to that place of hope in either case. Get to hope when we actually see action. And right now, they're trying to take you to hope based on talks that they have done for months. Like, literally, they have not proposed any type of stimulus, like any new proposals, for like 60-something days. So at least 2 months. But now, all of a sudden, we're supposed to... Do not sniff the Hopeium. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself, for your emotional health. That said, stay safe. It's Friday. I do want to let you know, just in case I didn't let you know, next week we will only have one episode on Monday because we are off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. But I will see you Monday, and I hope you have a safe weekend. Again, take this virus serious. People are dying, people are getting sick, and even people who make it through the virus, because not everybody has access to the monkey medicine of Trump, to COVID in chief. A lot of people are coming out on the other side worse off than they were before, right? I have spoken before about people I know who are now on oxygen, that they, have to, those little portable oxygen machines that they have to carry around. The expectation is they'll have to do it for a few months, but look, this thing is so new. We don't know if this is something they'll have to do the rest of their life. And if you don't have to do it, don't do it. I don't know if you plan to travel for Thanksgiving. I know you've probably been beat over the head with don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm just going to tell you whatever you decide to do it and be safe, right? Be safe. You're an adult. You've gotten this far in life. And you've done so without me telling you what to do. So I'm not going to tell you what to do. I just do want it, at the very least, out of care and compassion for everybody listening, and for even those who aren't listening. I want to tell you to be safe, because this stuff is serious. I know 29 people who have had COVID, and one of them potentially might have it again. So I don't know if I count that person as 30 or if I do it as 29 and 1 times 2. Like, I don't know how to count it. Like, I don't know, but we'll see. So anywho, you guys have a good day. Be safe. If you do have a hazmat suit, please wear it. If you're like me, wear your goggles. You might not get a man in the process, but at least you will be alive, and at least you will not have COVID. All right. Have a good one, guys. And I will talk to you on Monday.